during the interview time, it might come across as a selection procedure then that they have to shortlist 5 people out of 50. But in the first stage, when they have 500 CVs and they can only interview 50 people, that is actually a rejection stage. So therefore, we do try to find out all the flaws we can and then see the finest of the finest ones. So like if you're in the top two but I have only one vacancy, then I would definitely want to ask you things beyond the scope of that particular area of interest you have, like competition law. So then where do we get that information from? We get it from your CV only, or we take you to level 3. That's why Pragya was saying that even though level 3, I keep telling that it is not for freshers, it is mainly for those people who are going for a lateral shift. But again, you should also, if you have sufficient time, you'll get enough time to prepare for your level 3 and you'll be confident. So that is all we cover in holistic, like everything from CV, cover letter, SOP writing to interview prep to building your research writing skills, because everybody says research karo, but nobody teaches you how to actually do the research. And then basics of drafting. There are two drafting classes. One is on corporate due diligence, because DD sab karte hain, but nobody knows what comes in a DD. And as an associate, you take at least 4 to 6 months when you join a firm to understand the overall perspective of a DD as to what all components are there and how is a full-fledged due diligence done. DD is not just preparing Excel sheets or compiling data like the work which we get during internships and then we write very confidently in our CV that we did a DD. Okay, so this is what we cover in the holistic development growth camp. Depending on your needs, you can enroll for any of the two programs. Both the programs, or any program actually at YLCC, we do focus a lot on your individual growth. So therefore, we have always said that we focus on quality over quantity mentorship. So each and every individual, whether you come for a holistic program or an interview growth camp program, there will be special attention given on yourself, as to like there will be one-on-one live sessions with you to understand what is your story and how you can project it better to whoever you are approaching, whether it's an internship recruiter or a job recruiter. Now, Pragya, before I close this session, you did mention about GD, and I'm glad that you did talk about it. How did you prepare for the GD? Because I remember you called me the night before. We were not very confident. GD hoga, nahi hoga, kaisa hoga. So how did you prepare for the GD, and how did your GD actually go?
So I remember calling you because that is something, because GD is something they're gonna give you up any topic and then you'll have to speak upon it. And that was something I was apprehensive about. So I called you up. I remember that how am I gonna approach it? Because it can be about anything in the world. So how am I gonna approach it? So what should I prepare for? Is there something that you can tell? I literally asked, can you give me a list of topics that I can read upon, and these are the prospective topics. So at that point of time, I remember you telling me that it is very unpredictable. It can be a very basic topic about veg or non-veg biryani to something which is in the international economics, which is right now going on. So it can be anything. So what I would say is, what I had learned while my preparation with you was that instead of worrying about the topic that might come upon, and instead of reading too much about too many things which might not be relevant to you at all, you better focus on the strategy. So with the strategy which you told me, that how to open your GD. So try to open the GD, try to be someone who opens the GD, something that you told me. And if you had not tell me that thing, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have opened the GD, because I am always someone who would wait and then structure and then would come up with something. But then in that moment when you told me that be someone who's opening the GD, so do that. And then second, that thing that you told me, try to structure, try to find the pointers, try to break it into the question and then the solution to it. So I tried that approach. And so all those pointers which you gave me a day before, like open the GD, try to create questions, and then try to create questions and try to answer, try to assimilate people while doing a GD. You need to include everyone that is there, be polite, have a very confident outlook, and be someone who is very inclusive of everyone. Those are the pointers which helps you crack a GD even more. In GD, the most important thing is not the topic, it's about how you present yourself. So how you strategize things, so how to how you are presenting, how is your demeanor is what that determines whether you're going to crack a GD or not. So when I called Samanika, she told me a few pointers, and that definitely helped. So yeah, you open a GD, you create a structure that is how you're going to answer, that is how you're going to behave, how you assimilate and make a GD inclusive, and how are your hand movements, how are your hand gestures, eye gestures, how your voice modulation should be really great, because a GD is not testing your knowledge on the subject, it is testing how you behave in a group, how well you are able to articulate yourself, how well you are able to present yourself. And you are not someone who is who is dominating the group, you are someone who is very poised, calm, and someone who can think on the spot. And those are the points which are very important at the time of the GD. So you better focus on how you are going to present your argument. Your voice modulation should be perfect, your pitch, and then the way you are talking to everyone. And you should be a very good listener while you are in a GD. You should listen to the arguments that are coming from the people, and then you should try to add on to that. It is a very good strategy when you add on to someone else's argument, because that shows how involved you are in that particular discussion, and that definitely helps you a lot. That works as a positive. So those are the certain points that you should keep in mind while you're doing you're performing for a GD. And one important thing that you told me, that rather than focusing on the research facts, because you're given 2 minutes, and then rather than mugging up on those things, you better try to find things from the other people's discussion. While they're discussing, you better try to find things from there. And then when you see in a GD people deviating from the topic, so Samanika told me that try to bring people all back on the topic, and that is something that happened during my GD. And then I remembered it from the last conversation, and then I tried that, and I'm pretty sure that helped a lot. So those are the points which you should keep in mind, and which I kept in mind, which I was told by Samanika during the growth camp session also, and when we had one-on-one mentorship session. And those were the points which helped me in cracking the GD in a better manner. So don't go for a list, you better go for all the pointers that she told me, like the focusing on putting yourself in a better manner, presenting yourself in a better manner. And this is something which you cannot develop in a call or so. This is something which develops over a period of time. So when you are preparing for your interviews, or when you are preparing for your sessions, when you talk with people regularly, for example, if you join holistic camp, this is a personality will develop over a period of time. You will work over yourself over a period of time, and that personality would in itself reflect while you are presenting yourself. So it develops over a period of time. So that's how it helps you over a period of time, and that's how I did it.
I'm so happy to hear all these things, because I remember it's been so long now, I think 2.5 months. And you remember everything which I said in that like 4 minute call, just the day before your GD, that, okay, these are the things you should do. And like the way you expressed everything, it seemed like you remembered everything word by word. So yes, that's something actually I learned over time. And most important, through my SSB experiences, because there are GDs and then there are lecturates. It's called a lecturate round. Basically, we are given a topic impromptu. There are 4 options, and we pick one and we have to speak. So I've seen a lot of people, what they do is like the night before they'll be mugging. Ye topic aa sakta hai, wo topic aa sakta hai. And usually I'm like at the last moment I'll just look at the thing. Out of the 4 topics, 1 or 2 I'll be like, okay, we can talk about this. As law students, as lawyers, we do have good awareness about what is happening in the world, so that helps. Have the confidence that yes, if we are aware about what is happening around us, we can share some or the other perspectives. So what matters mostly is, firstly, yes, your knowledge will definitely matter, but that knowledge cannot be gained overnight. So you should remain aware of what is happening. These days there are so many different ways. Newspaper is not the only way. Through social media also, most of these news pages have their social media pages as well. So because I spend most of my time on LinkedIn and Instagram, I am following most of these news channels on those platforms as well. So I remember just before my SSB, I used to go through Bar and Ben's Instagram page and get an update. It was kind of a revision of what all news I came across the entire month, so that if I'm asked what is happening in India or around the world, I would have some idea about what is happening. So very, very like informative actually. conversation went for so long, we didn't even realize this. So thank you so much, Pragya, for taking our time. I'm so happy for your success, and very well deserved actually. So from mentor side, I have to share this, that it becomes very clear to us, because we've had good experience so far. So now it actually becomes very easily predictable about the success stories of students, but usually we don't say it beforehand that okay, you will make it or you won't make it, because again, depending on how sincere the student has been. So yes, I did know that you would crack it. It was only the GD part where I was slightly skeptical, because the way you panicked, that was the only part where you were panicking, and then you were like, okay, maybe I can't do this and can't do that, and like bringing the introvert inside you to speak up was slightly a challenge for me, because at that point of time you were being quite reserved. If the audience would have seen you 2 months back, and if they would have interacted, seen this interview of yours, there's a whole lot of difference, the amount of confidence you've gained. It's beautiful. So congratulations once again, and thank you so much for taking our time to share your experience. I'm pretty sure it will help a lot of other young students who want to do their self preparation, and you've shared very valuable pointers here. So thank you once again.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for your constant guidance over a period of time. And thanks a lot for providing me a place where I could share it. So thanks a lot. I enjoyed the conversation thoroughly.
Same way.